Senior coach Brad Murphy's with us as we head towards the last few games of the home and away season, but first things first, you've recommitted for the senior coaching job for 2017.
I have, yeah, I did that this week, so pretty excited. I think the group's headed in the right direction. I think we've come a long way since I first got here, and we won 2 or 3 games a year before I got here, and now we're up to upwards of 6 wins or 7 wins, so progress has been steady, but I think we can go a lot further in the next year or two.
What were some of the main factors that have kept you here for another year?
I think the list has really come along nicely. I think we've got some talent that's coming back next year. It's no secret we're probably the most affected club in the BFL in terms of VFL/TAC Cup players playing for us every week. We have about 9 players unavailable every week, and now with the VFL sort of reserves disbanding next year, we'll be getting a number of players back and quality players at that. So I think with the current list we've got, with those guys coming back next year and hopefully a couple of external recruits, I have no doubt we can push up to the top 2 or 3 next year.
Also very pleasing that the leadership group have all recommitted for next season as well.
Yeah, that was one of my goals, was to sit down with the leadership group before my signing, and I just wanted to get a gauge of where they were at, and I sat down with every one of them, and they all one-on-one, and they all said to me that they had no intentions of going anywhere, and to get commitment like that off a quality leadership group and some quality players like they are, it made my decision a lot easier.
Looking back to the weekend, we played Bacchus Marsh and fell a goal short after having our nose in front for a large part of the game. Was that the most difficult loss to accept in your time here as coach, considering the effort for the boys was probably one of the best in your time here?
Probably, yeah, that time last year when we lost by 1 point at their ground as well. Last 2 years we've been there, and both times had a player sent off the ground and both times lost by under a goal. So, we've got ourselves to blame. We made some silly mistakes in that last quarter, but having said that, the effort and the intensity from our playing group was, you're right, as good as it's ever been, and proves that we can take it up to anyone. We've lost to them and to Lake Wendouree in the last 4 weeks by a total of 10 points. So we know our best is good enough, and that's what we aim to be every week from now on.
Yeah, you mentioned the Lakers game. We lost them by 4, Marsh by 6, Sunbury by 14 earlier in the year. They're sitting 1, 2, 3 at the moment. At our best, we seem capable of matching it with those sides. What do we need to then do to be able to beat those sort of sides?
Oh, look, I think a lot of belief. If we had got one of those wins, especially earlier, that Sunbury one, I mean, Ryan Davis kicked a goal with 4 minutes or 5 minutes left and we went up by 2 points. So if we had snagged that one, I think the confidence in the group going forward would have been a lot higher. I think we just need to win one of those close ones against a really good side to have that belief. But I think the belief is slowly growing, and once we get more belief and once we get maybe 1 or 2 more quality players into the side, I reckon we'll be a force to be reckoned with.
What are a few of the positives you've taken out of the last month?
Some kids that have come in and played some pretty decent footy. Jack Hughes has had a fantastic year, and guys like him that you look at. Liam Henderson's last month has been brilliant. He's played on a few quality players like Jack Lant, and on the weekend he played on Declan Filan and kept them both very quiet. So he's in some good form. Some of our kids have been good. We had 7 or 8 kids last week that are still eligible for under 18 footy play in the seniors. So we're playing a very young squad, and I'm also under the belief that if any other side was playing 7 or 8 sort of 18-year-old kids, that they'd probably be struggling. So it's a credit to our young blokes. I think they've really stepped up, and on top of that, our leaders and our A-grade players have been exceptional this year, led by the captain.
We get up to East Point this week. It's basically a mini final for both sides, and being played at the finals venue as well, up at the Eastern Oval in Ballarat. The destiny's in our own hands, and I suppose that's the message that you've given the group tonight. It's a good preparation for finals, and to be there we have to win this week.
Yeah, well, that's right. If we win this week, we deserve to play finals, and if we don't win, we probably don't deserve to play finals, and I think the same can be said for East Point. Both sides are very similar on the ladder. We're obviously going clear. Both sides are pretty similar in terms of their lists, in terms of quality. So, it's a toss of the coin this week, 50-50 game. I've got no doubt it'll come down to effort. Whichever side gives most effort to win, and that's probably the team that deserves to play finals.
How about yourself, the old veteran? Any chance of hitting the field again this year?
No, I wouldn't have thought so, mate. I said to the playing group that they've gotten themselves to this position on the ladder without the help of myself being on the field, and it's a lot easier to coach from the sidelines and not worry about trying to play. And it's hard to move on, but you've got to move on from being a player to the coach, and I think it's worked well this year, and I think the playing group have responded and picked up the slack.
Thanks, Murph. Good luck on Saturday.
Thank you.